warning about not mixing a couple of prescription medications. I'm not saying everyone would have the same reaction that I did, but the reaction I had with these two medications was severe enough to where I want to warn others. In waiting for my COBRA insurance to kick in, having taken some bad advice from a director of the El Dorado to just wait for a while, I got sick. It was cold or flu-like symptoms, but they weren't getting any better over time, and I knew I needed an antibiotic to kill it. Without insurance, it's quite expensive. You have to pay a high price to see a doctor, since you can't get a prescription without a visit, and then the cost of the medication itself is high. So I waited, and finally the insurance kicked in. I had to take some steps to do that, and I did. I went to see my doctor and asked for amoxicillin, but instead was given a prescription for Cefdinir, which is a generic brand of Omnicef. I went to CVS Pharmacy, had it filled. The first evening I took it, it had a bad effect on my stomach. I assumed it was because it was a strong antibiotic and just decided to live with it. I took the next one 12 hours later as prescribed and had the same stomach pain. 12 hours later, I took dose number 3, it was in the evening, and decided to take my prescribed Omeprazole, sorry about the mispronunciation, Omeprazole, an hour or so later to see if that would help with the ongoing stomach issues. I'm supposed to take the Omeprazole daily, but I don't. Usually I take it when I need it, which isn't all the time, and usually it works. An hour after I took the Omeprazole, the effects of mixing the two prescriptions together took place. I felt like poison was shooting through my body, the center of the shooting being the stomach, again. When it didn't subside, but only got worse, I got up to call my doctor's office, knowing that the office itself wouldn't be manned since it was now around midnight, but assuming somebody would be on call. I got the answering service who, although she was nice, gave me some bad information, as I discovered later from the medical assistant at Dr. Fairmont's office. She said that the service could only cancel appointments, nothing else. So I decided to call poison control. A very nice gentleman on the other line listened to my situation, told me there was really nothing he could do, and that I should contact my doctor as soon as possible. He was surprised when I told him that I had done that and that they could only cancel appointments. I kept inundating myself with liquids, water and orange juice, and I waited. While I waited, not only was my stomach and limbs affected, but my skull was also affected. I still have a numbskull, I call it a numbskull, from the brain surgery that took place on August 26, 2015. But this mixing of the medications also affected my mind. It would not or could not relax enough to allow me to sleep. So I experienced an unusual tension caused by the medication, not by bad thoughts or anxiety. It was natural in nature. After several hours of waiting, praying, and accepting the situation, I was able to fall asleep for a short period of time. Having the responsibilities I have, I got up, took care of my duties, and then contacted the doctor's office. I contacted Lupin Pharmaceutical and CVS Pharmacy. Dr. Fairmont issued another prescription for an amoxicillin generic. Well, actually, one of his stand-ins did that, for which I'm very grateful. And then CVS filled it, and I took it with no bad effects. It only had healing effects. The cost of the replacement was 60% less than the cost of the Cefdinir. So I had asked CVS Pharmacy if I could please get my money back, and they said no, they can't do that, to contact Lupin. So I contacted Lupin again, who took my complaint, which was a case, not a complaint, said that they could not reimburse the money, eventually sent me a form to allow my doctor's office to release information so that they could at least investigate it. Several weeks after filling out the form and sending it in, I contacted the doctor's office and they had not received it. So I contacted Lupin again and still no response. In the middle of this whole long process, I did let CVS Pharmacy know that there was an issue in mixing the medications. They took the notes and they put it into my record. So my final analysis, I had asked Dr. Fairmont to please review Cefdinir before prescribing it to anyone else. I have not gotten an answer as to why that medication, which was new to me, was prescribed in the first place. I can guess, but I don't know. As far as Lupin Pharmaceutical goes, it seems to me that they are intentionally dragging their feet. They're much like Hartford Insurance is or was when I was trying to process my claim for short-term disability. That will be another documentary at some point in the future. I do not trust them. CVS Pharmacy gets a gold star. The next time I had my Omeprazole filled, there was a note to consult with a pharmacist. They had taken that note that they had entered into the system seriously and literally. My commendations go to them.